Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Griffiths and I'm a children's author, and I would love to share with you today my story, Douglas's Trousers. So I hope you enjoy it. One day at school, upon the floor, were Douglas's trousers by the classroom door. Dumped into a modest pile, they had been that way a little while. "Where are your trousers?" the teacher cried. "Get yourself changed," Miss Winter sighed. Miss Winter is not very happy with Douglas. Douglas is looking for his trousers and, but in the corner, look, you can see the magic starting to happen. Something's happening to the trousers. When all the children had left the room, Douglas thought, I'll find them soon. As he pondered and looked around, a crumpled pile there he found. Upon the floor the trousers moved, turned a little, and then they zoomed. And all of a sudden they began to glisten. A little voice said, "Douglas, listen, put me on." The trousers spoke, then whiz and bang in a cloud of smoke. With a cough and a wheeze, Douglas tried to put both of his legs inside. They felt warm, cosy and tingly too. The colour had changed from black to blue. And there's Douglas flying round his classroom. Round and round the room they flew. What was happening no one knew. As the boy went outside to play, he felt his feet begin to sway. From side to side the trousers heaved, up into the air little Douglas weaved. High above the old conker tree, he banged and scraped and scratched his knee. "Hey!" he yelled, "I'm up here!" with not even 1 inch of fear. My trousers, Douglas screamed. "This is fantastic," Douglas beamed. So how had these trousers come to be? A magical garment to set Douglas free. "Look up there," Maisie bellowed. She pointed straight at the flying fellow. "Miss Winter, quick, get him down." Soon the news would be all over town. Goodness gosh, what to do? Miss Winter's face had turned quite blue. But Douglas now had soared, then zip, the trouser leg began to rip. Caught on top of a weather vane. Ow, and ouch, and eek, the pain. Oh, look, and then we can see Miss Winter with Douglas's friends and Maisie shouting, "Get him down." Poor Douglas. He looks a bit worried now, doesn't he? Now, little Douglas had been known to experiment with spells at home. One day he had been in his loft. With all the dust he'd coughed and coughed. He'd come across his granddad's box, a treasure chest filled with socks. But in the socks hidden away were potions and recipes that say, in order to fly you need some wings, but failing that, then try these things. Feather from a range of birds, to normal folk it seems absurd. Geese and ducks and robins too, an owl, a parrot, to name a few. But I cannot divulge the whole lot, in case you try this outrageous plot. I will, however, let you know the secret ingredient below. It's a sprinkle of eggshell from the curlew bird, one of the rarest creatures in the world. Douglas's grandad had liked to spot the finest birds he'd seen the lot. Douglas's granddad is a really keen bird spotter, and he's got all these recipes in his loft, and Douglas has managed to find them. So now that I have begun to share just how this boy had got up there, it was quite a peculiar sight to see a child at such a height. By now the whole school was out. "Are you all right?" his friends did shout. "I'm great, I'm free, I can see for miles." But down below, there were no smiles. Huge crowds had begun to form, loud cheers and screams and sounds of horns. The local news had heard what's what, that Douglas Swift had got quite stuck. "Today," the local newsreader began, "a boy has flown like Peter Pan." I'll get my ladder," the caretaker hollered, and with that all of the parents followed. And there's the caretaker and she's shouting, "Hold on, Douglas! We'll get you down." Friends are looking very worried about him. Bert Brown, the newsreader, explained that Douglas's parents were enraged that their son had been allowed to leave the premises they could not believe. "This is Bert Brown, reporting for 123 News. Here I am with Mr. and Mrs. Swift." That now their son was flying high. He'd left the roof and was in the sky. "Oh, my little boy!" Mrs. Swift was shocked. Oh, "He's getting away," Mr. Swift had clocked. So Mr. Swift is very angry and Mrs. Swift very, very upset. Now Douglas had become quite pale. He spotted the postman delivering mail, and as he passed migrating geese, he thought, "Well, I've missed maths at least." "Where are you taking me?" Douglas asked. He breathed in deeply, sighed, then gasped. "I'm trying to help," the trousers said. Higher and higher Douglas was led. I wonder where he's going, children. Now, what I have not begun to say is that the school was due to close that day. A thriving, happy little place was being shut, a complete disgrace. Douglas had written a letter to try and make the situation better. But being forgetful as he was, he'd been left in his trousers because, Douglas, so this is the letter, children, that he's written to the head teacher. Shall we read it? "Dear Mr. Head Teacher, please rethink closing the school. I think this is a horrible idea. Many thanks, Douglas." Look at Douglas, he's so worried. He's put a really sad face and he's underlined the word horrible as well because he thinks it's such a horrible idea. So let's see if the magic will work. He'd forgotten to post it a week before. Instead, he discovered Grandad's potions in store. The excitement of being able to fly had taken priority of Douglas's eye. On his hands the potion had tipped, and into his pockets the liquid had slipped. By true magic and wonder beyond all hope, the potion had worked outside all scope. Amazing. So the magic and the letter kind of worked together to help Douglas have his magic flying trousers. Now the media had arrived at this quiet country town to try and get poor Douglas down. Because of this wondrous peculiar sight, the authorities had been given a terrible fright. There were people with banners shouting, "Save our school!" hoping that justice would come to rule. Quickly the news had spread worldwide. Maybe there was a solution to find. Children were interviewed and parents too. "Please," they said, "is there anything you can do?" "Saving Douglas is our main priority," said Mr. Fairfax, the head of the local authority. "Helicopters are on their way to save the boy, I hope and pray that he is safe and sound quite soon. I feel that I have changed my tune. I have decided that I must declare to close the school was quite unfair." That's amazing, he's changed his mind. And it's all thanks to Douglas and all his friends and community. The trousers flinched and jerked a bit. They made poor Douglas feel quite sick. "My job is done," the trousers cried. "Hooray, hurrah," Douglas replied. And now the boy came into view. "Look," said Maisie, "the boy who flew." "I now propose that there must be a brand new start the school will see." And softly, slowly, down he came. "Oh, Douglas, darling, don't do that again." Mrs. Swift, in tears, hugged her boy and squeezed him tight with love and joy. A little tale of magic and flight, of trousers that flew to a soaring height. But without the support and love of the town, would little Douglas have ever come down? I wonder. So, always practice what you preach, and maybe magic isn't beyond your reach. So children, I hope you enjoyed my story of Douglas and his magic flying trousers. And this was my very first story that I had published, and it is such a pleasure to share with you today. I hope it gives you some ideas for your very own stories that you would like to write. And I hope you join me for more stories soon. Thank you, take care, goodbye.